What is up, everybody?
Hey guys, what's up? So, who knew the Eternals was coming out today? Because I didn't know.
The trailer.
Well, it's closed. I mean, I didn't know. Did you know?
If the movie is coming out today, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
I know, right?
What
IMAX
are
is
we
waiting.
doing?
IMAX is waiting. IMAX is waiting. So, first off, I got to ask you, Justin, are you excited for more Marvel content? Because I am.
Are you kidding? Whenever this word is anywhere, unless Sony's got it, and you're like, okay, or Fox,
Fox is more. Sony's is like, eh.
or Hulu with the new MODOK show.
Oh, hey man, that looks fire. That looks fire.
It's more you than me. It reminds me. It's a lot like Robot Chicken, but
That's what excites me.
I saw some of it. Let's talk about.
Hi, Katrina.
Surprise! This is about MODOK. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, whenever Marvel Studios is doing anything,
yeah,
it's like
whenever.
Like you can pretend to be like, oh, they might not do it again. They might have lost the magic. But like ever since Guardians of the Galaxy 1, we know what they do. We know what they do. We know who Marvel is. They don't play around.
Exactly. That's the thing that I really want to bring about, because it's like this trailer, I know nothing about the Eternals.
I know.
I just know it's basically, I just kind of understand it's like DC's New Gods and Apocalyptians. Like it's kind of in the same realm of that kind of like jargon. That's it. That's all I know. So it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy. They were lesser known, like property, and we're getting more of it, and it went awesome. So crossing
and this is
pretty good.
This and Shang-Chi, the other Marvel movie coming out this year. I know very little about I know more about Shang-Chi, but like I feel so privileged to, instead of having like read the comics and then watching the movie, hoping and praying that it lives up to my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to do that. I have no expectations other than Marvel movies, which are always up here.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we'll get a movie
ones.
that's a little bit lower, but none of the movies are bad. They're just varying levels of good.
So it's a little
like even the worst Marvel movies, you still get to see Thor swing his hammer.
Exactly.
And I mentioned Thor because you know which one I'm talking about.
They're very rewatchable.
You get to
not
see,
like off the rip, but they're very rewatchable. But so before we even get into this, guys, I just want to throw it out there. I want you to smash the like button. I want you to whip the sub button, and also a symbol to the notifications. And always get content from me and Justin and our friend Alex and my wife when we also do these lives, plus our vlogs and everything else we get down on. So just
Lucas, what is that thing up there?
Oh, I don't know. That's something new up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is that? It says pretentious pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Well, maybe you folks should stay tuned.
Exactly.
That's all I'm going to say today.
Maybe it's something new and exciting that's coming from me and you.
Maybe.
All right. So first off, are you excited for this?
Me, of course. It's Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm always like, my hype level for Marvel is always up here, and Eternals is just from what I've seen already, not the trailer, but from everything that I've seen ever since like Guardians of the Galaxy and Black Panther, just all these different, Marvel goes for it, man. And I'm just so excited to see this.
Yeah, they don't hold anything back. So we got Jose here in the chat as well. What's up, Jose? How you doing?
Hi, Jose.
Also throwing it out. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. But for me, I mean, I know nothing about this. Usually I'm not the person who like stays away from knowing everything about everything. Usually I'm like right in the midst of it. But I've kind of chosen to take a step back from Marvel and not like nosedive into what's going on. So I want to be surprised.
Yeah.
Like I stayed away from all the leaks for like Winter Soldier and Falcon when it was on, and definitely stayed away from the leaks for WandaVision. You were actually the one who told me about. No, sorry. A coworker was the one who told me about the Mephisto like theory, and I was like,
WandaVision was almost impossible to stay away because they just made you so hungry for
For
detail,
more.
and
Yeah,
it
exactly.
ended up stressing me out. I'm just so glad it's over. I like the show, but I'm just so glad.
But yeah,
I
so
don't think I'm ever gonna go that deep into the rabbit hole of like trying to figure out with my keyboard what's going on. I just want to be
maybe
surprised. I have
I'm kind of
patience.
that guy. I'm kind of that guy. But so for this, I definitely didn't like do any research. I definitely have never. I knew of the Eternals. I know they're like something celestial, and we already saw a celestial like showcased before. Like we only saw the head of one, which is nowhere in Guardians and the space areas. And we also saw one of the Celestials using the Power Stone to completely annihilate like a planet. So I know Celestials are tied into here somehow. I just don't know exactly what's going on with them. So
Celestial, what is that? Just kidding. Let's not go into that.
exactly.
Let's watch.
So let's just watch this thing. Like exactly what I said. So here we go, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Got good music already.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
There she is. Wow.
That's cool.
We have watched, unguided. We have helped them progress and seen them accomplish.
Whoa, that's like a flash powers.
Throughout the years, we have never interfered until now.
Romance. What? A little bit of dancing there. A volcano. It's Jon Snow. I didn't know Jon Snow was in this.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of paychecks right there.
Thank you for this. Oh, you're welcome.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
Okay. So
That is a good question though. Who is going to lead the Avengers?
that is a good question. That is a really good question, actually.
I think
so.
it's going to be Ant-Man. No. It'll be obviously Sam. It'll be Sam. What are you talking about?
Yes or no, it could be someone else. We don't know what's going to happen yet. We don't even know where Marvel has planned.
So exciting.
It is.
We don't know. We knew Thanos was coming. Now, we don't know what's coming.
Only thing we have a tease of right now is Kang the Conqueror. He's going to be in the new Ant-Man movie, Quantum Mania. Yeah, we know he's going to be in there, and we know Kang the Conqueror is a very big named like character. Like he's a Thanos level threat. So is he going to be the Thanos level threat? Who knows? But we do know Fantastic Four is also coming. So
Wanda is going to be the next Thanos. My theory. Wanda.
very
anyway,
high
let's
possibility.
talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about this movie. Yeah, let's talk about the trailer.
Sorry.
It's
I'll
pretty.
start off. So we got Marvel just coming hot off the heels of their Shang-Chi trailer, flexing like crazy with their set design, their costume design, their world building. It's like they have a blank check to do whatever they want creatively, and I love that thing. And this movie, I mean, you look at another ensemble movie, like we would always think, oh, we're really waiting on the Avengers to come out, and that was like the only time we would get that ensemble cast.
Exactly.
Then Guardians came out, ensemble cast. Guardians 2 came out. Winter Soldier ensemble cast. Civil War ensemble cast.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. I would even go as far as to say Homecoming.
It was.
Because it was a bunch of these teenage actors or
Mhm.
actors that look like teenagers.
But we still had Tony Stark,
and
we had Tony Stark involved in it too. We had Robert Downey Jr. involved in it too.
Right.
And
so
John Favreau.
Tons of people. I mean, we're getting these great, gigantic casts of people that are teams. And I think, I like my favorite hero for everybody on the record, Doctor Strange. I love him, But I gotta say, when there's teams, and that Marvel does such a good job about juggling characters and developing each one, giving them, some of them have humor, some of them have they'll do the backstory of one, they'll do the, the love interest, the romance between two. This movie just looks like it's going to be a less funny version of Guardians of the Galaxy, way more into the high concept sci-fi. Totally. So, I mean,
we might still have the funny though. We have what's his name?
It's always going to be funny, but it's not going to be James Gunn funny.
Well, yeah, James Gunn's a different
He done
kind of
moved
funny.
on to Suicide Squad. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see this? Well, now, sorry to just like interject because you brought up James Gunn. Did you see he's completely done with Marvel after 3? After
He's
Guardians
talking about going to TV afterwards, and then Drax as well. David Bautista.
He said wherever a James Gunn goes, I go, because he didn't.
Or maybe Zack Snyder.
Did you know he was uncomfortable with the shirtless scenes?
Yeah, I think that's probably overplayed for the sake of clicks. I don't think he's probably that. If someone's handing him a paycheck, he's probably like, yeah, fine.
Maybe not.
But if I think
people who are
the point he
self-conscious.
made in that article, which is stupid as it was that I read that because it's a nonsense article, we don't need to be in that man's business, like what his insecurities are.
Yeah,
but
true. I mean,
from what I read in the article, it was just this whole thing of like, hey, I'm getting old. I don't want to have to sit here and have to make sure I look good all the time when I can still act physically. And Drax is literally a shirtless character. I feel for him. He probably doesn't want to sit there with his old man yabos hanging out.
Old man yabos, get out of here. I ain't got time for you.
Yes, you do. You got all the time in the world.
Oh, baby, I do. Oh, baby, I do. But so thoughts, man. Like, it's beautiful looking. I'll definitely tell you that it's definitely beautiful looking. And I get now why people say it looks like the New God Apocalypse, like New Genesis or whatever that whole era of DC was. That Eternals are kind of like around at the same time. Like, it's very similar. Think about it. Like,
well, Lucas, you always talk about these new gods. Every time you bring them up, and you do a lot, I have no idea I don't know what that is. It's DC, right?
It's DC, yeah, it's DC.
I don't know nothing about new gods.
I have to.
I mean, you could explain for me in the chat, maybe a little synopsis to make it.
It's something that was created by Jack Kirby after he left Marvel. Basically, it was his own idea that he wanted to come up with, and it's basically like good versus evil. That's basically understanding what it is. It's New Genesis was the home of the new gods, all the new gods basically that are good, and Apocalypse was ruled by Darkseid, Uxas, and is basically those forever clash of evil and good, and that's the whole synopsis of those stories. But the Eternals look like very close to that, and don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure Jack Kirby had a hand in creating the Eternals as well. Don't quote me on that though.
Hold on. Lucas said that.
Lucas said this exactly. But
first off, Jack Kirby, Lucas before this, he should have waited, but before this, he told me that Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman.
I don't know the pronunciation. He is the author of one of the. Did he create the Eternals?
I don't think he created them. I think he just one of the books.
Okay, but I might have to go. I'm not really a comic book guy anymore. Like, I like comics. I like the nostalgia of them. I'm not interested in necessarily going to get new stuff. But Neil Gaiman, he wrote my favorite series of comic books, the Sandman comic.
Really good series.
And please give us that movie or show.
We might.
That's been like that for years, Lucas. because they've been trying to. Anyway, that's not. He if he had a hand in developing these characters, if he is in any way involved with this movie, if the movie is in any way involved or inspired by his works, I'm even
Well,
more excited.
if you think about it, so there that scene that we just saw, one of the scenes that we saw when I guess they're on their own ship or whatever it is, like the mystical signs or like the celestial signs that started forming, that's very reminiscent of like Sandman, like
Well, it
the
also
signage and the what involved in it. So maybe they're taking inspiration from his story that he was telling too. I mean, I don't know anything about this, so
right,
I'm
so
watching this
far,
with like virgin eyes, basically.
yeah. So with Marvel's cosmic, this is I want to say the fourth cosmic movie. So you got Guardians one, no,
Mhm.
because Thor. You could add Thor. I don't
Thor.
know if Thor would be
I would consider all Thor movies cosmic movies because
okay. So you
the
got
Thor movies, Thor Asgardians are more
Thor,
aliens than they are like gods. So
right. So you got three Thor movies.
mhm.
You got
Two
two
Guardians.
Guardians movies, and then Captain Marvel. Doctor Strange is a little mystic. I mean, it looks like they're the
I wouldn't,
symbols kind of remind me of that, but this is our like seventh, I guess, space
and then you
focus.
have Endgame and Infinity War.
Well, those are a league of their own, but yeah, like
But
I got
they're
you. Yeah.
cosmic movies. There's a lot that takes place in space with those movies.
All right, right, right.
So
Yeah, but there's not really revolved around. Well, no, because Gamora, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like that was like when I think of Infinity War and Endgame, like those aren't movies. That's like
an
I don't know.
experience.
I mean, I don't even want to be that cliche with it. That's like elevated beyond.
I mean, I agree. I agree to an extent, but when I think like the cosmic movies, they're definitely in there because of what they deal with and who they bring to the table, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Because Thanos is a cosmic level threat, not a like planetary
Oh, it
level threat.
definitely is. It definitely is. But it's just not what I think about when I think about like world building into cosmic. The world building in the Infinity War and Endgame is mostly with Thanos, which is still there, but we're not getting like. Well, we get a little bit with the Collector, who I
Collector
keep wondering.
on
I guess
nowhere,
he's not
going
coming back.
nowhere.
I wonder if we'll see him again
I
because
mean,
it wasn't unclear whether he was killed or not.
I mean, when you go to all the different like worlds with the Infinity Stones in Endgame, cosmic level, like Infinity War is literally him going through everywhere collecting the stones. So it's they're cosmic movies. They are.
Now, I don't think you brought this up in your queue, but of the four movies this year
Mm-hmm.
coming out, maybe not count Spider-Man because that would be too easy. But which one are you looking forward to the most? If it's obviously Spider-Man, then cool. But
It's obviously Spider-Man, but if I
right.
go for something I know nothing about, I think Shang-Chi looks really
Yeah,
interesting.
I was gonna say like
I think it looks really
Shang-Chi.
interesting, but I don't know anything about this.
Right.
Where Shang-Chi has like the 10 rings, which I know who the Mandarin is, and I know like what the 10 rings can do. They're like all 10 rings are different powers, like one's earth, one's water, one's fire, one's wind, et cetera, et cetera. So if that's what they incorporate into the universe,
One is
that'd
just
be
funny.
that'd be crazy. But we know who knows what Marvel's going to do anymore. So, but as a pure
Make
like
awesome
interesting,
crap.
very true. But for pure like want of interest, I think Eternals right now. Like the trailer didn't hype me. It didn't hype me, but it intrigued me.
I got hyped because like I'm seeing all these cast members, and the reason it didn't hype you probably Lucas is because there's no expectations, so you're not getting like, oh, we're gonna see this, oh, we're gonna see that, oh, they're alluding to this because that's how we usually are. You and me, we
Yeah,
know Marvel
exactly.
to the point where when we see new content and it's like a trailer or something, when we see with Falcon and Winter Soldier, mild spoilers. When we saw John Walker, we're like, oh, U.S. agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's like instantly what I thought.
So
I was like, wow.
We start going through the motions like, oh, okay, what else is coming? And we know, like, I've read stuff about Captain America. I've read stuff about Agent Carter, all these different characters. I've read nothing about the Eternals. There's the hype for me is the cast because you got Kumail Nanjiani, who is Nanjulani. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry, man. You're awesome. He was in I think Silicon Valley, I believe.
Isn't he in Harold
And
Kumar?
no,
That's not him.
no,
Okay, sorry.
no,
I'm not.
no, not
I'm not
all
trying.
Indian people look like. Anyway,
Wow, rude. Hey, no, I thought that was the actor. Thank
you're the
you.
one. Anyway, no, he's a he's cool. He actually no stranger to sci-fi. He does a voice in Mass Effect Andromeda, which is the one everybody hates, but
Hmm.
he's he's like perfect for the role in that. And Angelina Jolie, we love.
That is the
He's
only
been
actor.
kind of away.
That's the only like face I knew. So
Alma Hayek.
not off the top of my head. Like I know who Salma Hayek is, but like I'm not gonna know her face instantly.
Right.
Like Angelina Jolie was the only one that I knew in there, and I know
We
there's
got
there's Game of Thrones people in there too, but I don't watch Game of Thrones. I've never seen it.
yeah.
So,
There's the two brothers from Game of Thrones.
yeah.
It's like I didn't expect. Like I saw Richard Madden, who is I think the oldest Stark son, who may or may not have had a short run in the series.
Everyone dies.
Not everybody. That's because Jon Snow be popping up in the trailer too. I'm like, hey, it's him and his brother.
Yeah.
Why are they both
I see.
very very what you would call like jarring to see? Very distracting to be like, oh, it's the two Stark brothers in the same movie. Okay. I wonder how that happened. It was like, hey, you see Game of Thrones? Yeah. You like that guy? Yeah. You like the other guy? Yeah. Let's go. So,
I mean, Marvel's pulling all the stops, man.
Mhm.
Think about all the big name actors they've dropped recently. Think of the Sylvester Stallone cameo, like all the big name people that we've had throughout the years. They're finally like coming in on this because everyone didn't think it would be nothing. You know, think
and
about
it
back
all
when.
started with Jeff Bridges. Tony.
Yeah, but but think about it though, man. Like back, however many years ago now. How many years? Many years it's been?
Since Marvel? Since Iron
Yeah.
Man 1?
No.
11, I think. 12. 2008. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 years.
Like
Has
think
been
about
14?
it. Would you have ever thought we would be where we are today with Marvel? Or with movies in general? Think about it. Marvel was what ignited like cinematic universes.
The craziest thing to me is WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, how it's like, oh, we're basically getting comic books in live action now. Because the movies are, if you don't know about comics, ladies and gentlemen, you would have your long running string issues, and then you would have your annuals and your crossovers.
And then your graphic novels.
Right. Which your graphic novels are usually a combination of several of those issues, depending on how they were released.
And that's what I see.
But you would have the movies have always felt like annuals, which they're bigger in scale. They tell a very big story, even like the origin story of like Spider-Man or Hulk or Thor. They all feel much bigger than they would in the comic. In the comic, the first issue wouldn't be that huge. It would just be like, a little bit, and then the stakes would get really high as you're reading the weekly issues to the annual that would come out. And that's what, the movies had always felt like that individually, and then the Avengers movies were the annuals. Now the movies themselves just feel like the annuals. And this is kind of quoting what Kevin Smith said. The shows feel like the comic issues that you're getting.
They really do.
Especially if
They
you're
really
watching them
do.
every week they come out.
And that's what I'm really excited for. I really like the way they're doing this.
Never thought in a million years we would be at this point, and we're just
I
so
wouldn't.
privileged in that superheroes are not going away, and they're not getting old, and
They're
still being fresh.
timeless. They're timeless. They were created in garages by, nerdy kids who thought they could be better, and they decided to write it on the page of a book. And look what we have today.
And
Like
Marvel,
icons. These are modern day Greek heroes and Norse heroes. Balder, Hercules. Like that's what superheroes are, and that's what we are going to keep getting. But we keep getting distracted from this trailer.
No.
No,
I was going to say the only time when superheroes are ever going to get stale is when we start getting superpowers, and then it's going to be like, why do I want to watch
Exactly.
a dude who can fly when I can just yeet, yeet, just pop
Yeah,
up?
and get out of here. But yeah, the trailer looks very like the thing looks very pretty. Like the trailer looks pretty. The opening music was a good choice. Like it instantly caught my attention. I was like, "Ooh, what's about to
Very
happen?"
unique, very tone building, tone
Costume
setting.
design looks very like otherworldly, but not like it looks regal, right? They look very regal compared to the other cosmic things we've been dealing with. They're very like ornate. They're very like godly almost.
Yeah,
That's what it's very similar to. Especially Angelina Jolie's character. Angelina Jolie's character looks very like center focused. Maybe it's like maybe she
Yeah.
isn't, but she's very
the Asgardians look regal as well, but in a warrior way.
exactly
These people look more
imperial.
imperial. Might be not what I'm looking for, but it makes sense. I would say regal is more of a. It's just we get these. I don't know how Marvel does it, but whenever you see Marvel costumes, they're all different. They all have their own style, but there's always this sense of uniformity where they all look like they could exist in the same universe.
It's
They
very
all
sharp.
look,
They're very
yeah,
sharp patterns.
yeah, and these are probably the most different looking that I've seen in a while. I think when we first saw um, some of the costumes on Thor Ragnarok, those were very neo noir, cyberpunk kind of inspired for a little
Yeah.
bit, or like '80s synthwave, like your action movies, your Fifth Elements, and all that, kind of inspired by that. But like those were very varied, very varied. Say that 3 times fast.
Very,
There was
very,
a lot
very,
of
very,
variety
very, very,
in
very,
the
very,
Thor.
very, very. It hurts.
Yeah, you hurt anyway.
Mm.
A lot of variety in the Thor. These ones, there's a bit of, even amongst the costumes themselves, the style is very. It's got its own style, and
Yeah.
we haven't seen anything like it, and that's really cool. I could say the same thing about Shang-Chi, but Shang-Chi is more in line with some of the stuff we've already seen as far as costumes.
Yeah, it's very like I know it's not Doctor Strange related, but it makes me think of like uh the Supreme what's her
Sorcerer
name?
Supreme,
Yeah, what's her
Ancient
name,
One,
bro? The ancient
Ancient
one.
One.
Oh, why did I have a brain fart? Wow, that's terrible.
No,
But
that's
yeah,
okay.
the
You could have
ancient
just said Tilda Swinton. We wouldn't know.
yeah. Well, his
All Tilda Swinton,
the costuming in Shang-Chi was very like ancient one inspired Tibetan, like so on and so forth.
Marvel Yoda, whatever.
Marvel Yoda, never die. But yeah, this is but when those costumes came on, I instantly knew if you did not show me the spaceship, I would have thought, okay, this is a cosmic movie. Even just seeing the costumes. Not like, hey, these are superheroes on Earth. If you just showed me a line of the people, I would have just been like, hey, these people belong not on Earth. They look like gods almost. But why? Like, what makes. And then you start watching the trailer, and they show them, like, doing godly things on Earth. Like, you notice how. Do you remember in the little bit where they showed.
Feel free to
one.
throw it up again if you want.
Oh,
If you can. If you can't, no worries. But
no.
okay.
But there's a scene. There's one part of the scene where one of the women is in ancient times, and it flips to modern time, and she's wearing modern day clothing. So clearly, Eternals is their name. So are they like immortals? Do they just live forever? Are they the basis for gods within different
Right.
cultures? Because one looked like they were Aztec area or like Japan, and then the other one looked like they were part of Eastern Indian culture. Like each character looked like they had a garb on that resembled something of like a god or a deity of a certain area. So are they like the basis for like the pantheon of gods or some of the pantheon of gods? Because I'm assuming like Asgardians and Thor and Odin, all them were the basis for their the Norse mythology within the MCU. So
I'm
is it safe to
watching it
assume these guys
again
are too?
on my phone, and the splash logo of the symbols turning into the Marvel logo and then kind of like exploding in
Yeah,
place. Really cool. But I guess so. I guess they're human, right?
I
Like
don't
they
know.
start off as human. Well, either again, I don't know. I'm just speculating because I don't know anything about the
Yeah.
It seems like the way they were talking, they weren't talking like someone from another planet. Then again, the Kree, or not the Kree, I guess the Kree too, but the people. What was the pink people place called
The pink
in
people place.
Guardians 1?
Xandar.
Yeah, the Xandar people. Xandar.
Xandarians.
Okay,
Xandarians and
as easy as
Xandorians.
it could be. I'm overthinking it.
ZZ
Xandar.
Topians. ZZ
ZZ.
Topians.
Um, the they all kind of talk when they speak. They kind of sound like they're just regular Earthling people, like
Yeah.
and speaking English. But at the same time, they're like making references to Captain America and the Avengers, and they're just like, who should do it? Like I could do it.
Well, that's the thing. So what if they are like Celestials? So what if they're involved with Celestials? Because I think they are. I'm not 100% sure.
So if they are, they're
So-
just monitoring Earth and just not being involved. Because the line in the trailer is like, "We don't interfere."
Yeah. So what if they are like those deities that people base their religions off of?
And I
But
want to
they're like,
slap them in the face. Get off your butt and fix world hunger, bro.
well, there's also the other
Celestial.
scene where you see like so remember when I was like, hey, flash powers, fast person. So that person saved someone from like a crumbling building or something. So what if that's, who knows? Like that, what if they're not deities? What if they're not? What if they're just humans with superpowers and we don't even know that? You know?
Maybe.
Maybe.
And I just gotta say that the guy who built that building is probably going to get fined because it came down pretty easily. Just saying.
It did. It did. But definitely a very interesting. It definitely has me hooked. Like it makes me want to see this movie.
This shot right here, most ghetto way to do a stream. That looks like the Forbidden City in China, and I like it's really inspired by that. And it's like I think I'm more excited, more than the cast, more than the costume. I'm most excited to see all kinds of new places that we haven't seen before.
Instead
When
of a
you
city
first
on
saw
city on
Wakanda
city.
and how breathtaking Wakanda was, and how unique and stylized and creative
Yes.
they were with
Yes.
Wakanda.
Yes.
Even as recent as what's the place? The island they went to in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Even on the micro scale, they go to this island in one of it's a made up Marvel island. I forget what it's called.
All right, Katrina. She said she's still here. She's just letting her little dinosaurs go to bed. All right.
Hi, Christina. Thanks
Katrina.
for watching. As always. Oh, did I say Christina? Oh,
Yeah. Katrina.
all right.
It's
We're gonna
okay.
edit that out. Sorry,
Yeah,
Katrina. I
sorry.
ruined your name. I
Oops.
ruined your name.
Oopsie
I know you
doopsie.
don't deserve that. I'm sorry.
But new places are definitely something to look forward to. I just want a new, like, with the end that came with Endgame, like, I don't know where they could go. And I thought, okay, when they first showed us Black Widow, right? I was like, okay, so they're just going to start doing like prequels, basically. Like, go back and give us like backstories of characters, you know?
I think
But
Black
then-
Widow was like, oops, we made a mistake. We should have had a female, superhero movie back in the day.
Besides
And
Captain Marvel.
Besides Captain Marvel, that is like way OP and like,
Yeah.
interesting, but not my favorite movie. I liked it, but Black Widow,
Yeah.
way better. Black Widow is a great character. I mean, give her some time to shine.
We'll see.
It's crazy how like they planned WandaVision to come out after the Black Widow movie, and at this point, because we had to get WandaVision first because of the pandemic,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think that Elizabeth Olsen has gotten more screen time as Wanda than
Scarlett Johansson as
Scarlett
Black
Johansson
Widow.
as
It is a little crazy.
Natasha.
It is a little crazy.
That is nuts. But
It is a little nuts. But yeah, so moving on. So we got this question for you. How do you think it's going to change the MCU landscape? Because after seeing this trailer, I definitely think some big things are happening. I just don't know what exactly myself. But do you have any like theories or ideas or something about what's going to happen?
For me, it's the way the trailer was structured. It's almost because I don't know anything about it. It's almost impossible for me to speculate on what could happen next. But I do think that on the business side of things, I think I don't know the details, but I would imagine that most of these actors are contracted for multiple picture deals, and the Guardians, a lot of that cast is probably going to be moving on, and we might have.
So you
Because
think this
they're
is going to be the surrogate replacement for the Guardians?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think we'll get more cosmic stuff from Captain Marvel and Eternals.
Adam Warlock.
Right, and Adam Warlock will probably show up in a Captain Marvel movie or a Eternals movie after Guardians
It would
3.
make sense for him to be in a Captain Marvel movie. Maybe
Yeah.
be like an unlikely foe, and then have an alliance.
But like this is one of those like you can't watch it and be like, oh, maybe Namor is like it. Like there's no
literally
we
there's
know-
nothing in it to tie to anything else except for like who's
Not
going
that
to
we
lead
know
the
of.
Avengers. Now Captain Rogers. Captain Rogers didn't say Steve, didn't say Captain America. They say Captain Rogers. And Tony Stark is gone.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that got tied into anything else in the MCU, unless I missed something.
Like what if like this isn't a movie where we're looking at it like, oh, I think I saw Doctor Doom's castle in the back now. Like, that would be cool. Like that's what I really want. Like if Marvel gives me Doctor Doom, that's what I want. Because
I mean, if the Eternals are as big as a thing as I think they are power wise, if we get a little Doctor Doom tease, what'd you feel about that?
we're not getting a Doctor Doom team.
I know. It's just wishful thinking.
You want to make
thinking.
I can make some easy money right now if you want to throw money down on it. 'Cause
No.
Kevin Feige's listening and he's like, hey, let's mess this guy down. Let's throw in a little Doctor Doom tease.
That'd be great.
The people at the beginning, like I guess it looks like they're Earthlings, but like way back in the day, like tribal, like cavemen kind of people, nomadic tribes, seeing a UFO, and it's like,
It's a god.
It's kind of accurate because
Yeah.
they can literally run pretty quick. At least we know they can run quickly. I don't think
one that we know can run quick.
we didn't really see any of the powers, did we?
No.
We saw a knife. I hope they don't have to use the knife to like search for a secret base. That's like the ruins of a base.
Stop.
Like every time I see a knife in a little dagger in a movie, I'm thinking like,
stop right now.
I hope we don't have.
I will end this stream right now.
Why? Because you like the movie, or because I brought it up?
Because you brought it up, and I don't like the movie.
It's going through your head now.
Oh no, trash. I think this is gonna.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Lucas.
What's your last name?
Mabels.
Oh, you're supposed to say Skywalker.
Stop it.
Sorry, Kat. We're in a really good mood today because we got more Marvel stuff coming out, so we're throwing the hopes out. We're throwing them out. Yeah.
But my opinion, I mean, I don't have an opinion on the movie itself because I don't know anything. I know I've said it a million times already, but I think it's going to be a big landscape change. Like this is an entrance into a whole different side of the cosmic realm that we don't know about yet. And I think this is going to open up a lot more to us.
I would not go that far. I think you're right, but I think these movies are going to be very contained for a bit because we got just think about it. We got so much going on. We have we got all the shows.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's refresh what's still coming. We just had WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier. We got Black Widow coming out. We got Loki coming out. We have the What If coming out. We got
definitely. I'm really excited about that What If.
Yeah, of course.
I really am.
Because what if? Anyway, we got Black Widow coming out. We got Shang-Chi coming out. We got She-Hulk coming out. We got Hawkeye coming out.
We got Miss Marvel.
We got Miss Marvel coming out.
Mm-hmm.
We got Moon Knight coming out. We got Blade coming out.
Yep.
We got Spider-Man
No Way Home.
No Way Home coming out. We got Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We got Captain Marvel. Or what's it called? It's called The Marvels. I think it's just called The Marvels.
Yeah, we also have Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion show, um, uh,
Ant-Man, Quantum Mania,
Ant-Man, Quantum, and Fantastic Four.
and Fantastic Four. Yeah.
So they have all of these moving elements. I think Eternals is going to be this background thing that's going to go away after this movie is going to go away for a while. They might bring some elements back in with Captain Marvel 2, the Marvels. But I think for the most part, this is going to be very contained in the background movie.
Okay.
For a while because
So
there's just so much stuff going
Ant-Man.
on Earth.
Ant-Man,
Yeah.
the first Ant-Man movie, until they bring
Yeah.
more into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Ant-Man, they brought him right back in Civil War.
Okay,
So, like,
true.
I'm trying to think
of another movie then that was pretty contained for a while.
I would say Doctor Strange. No.
Yeah. He came back
Captain
in
Marvel, maybe. I don't know. They're usually. It's just the thing is, Guardians were like it took 2 Guardians movies before they even got involved with the rest. So I would compare it to Guardians. But all I'm saying is, there is very few stuff happening in space right now in comparison to all the others. So we got like 4 things in space. We got Guardians 3, Captain Marvel 2, Secret Invasion, and Eternals. Not really much else going on in space. Thor 4 looks like it might, but Thor is.
Oh, that's
Thor
the
is
one we
very,
thought. So you forgot to say Thor: Love and
Yeah,
Thunder.
I know. There's so many that as big of I'm forgetting, and that's one of the ones I'm even most excited about. Because Taika Waititi is God. Like he's just God. Like that guy, give him all the money. Let him do the Star Wars movie. Let him do it. If you don't know who Taika Waititi is, he directed Thor Ragnarok.
And he played as Korg as well.
Yep, hey man, I'm made of rocks.
Hey,
Don't need to be intimidated unless you're made of scissors.
Want to get a ship? You want to get a ship?
Hey man, we're gonna get on this spaceship here. We're gonna get out of here. You wanna come?
This line with Loki going to the wall still gets me. He's like, "Get out of here, Ghost!" I got him real quick.
You guys, he's like, "Piss off, Ghost!" And he's freaking gone. He's like, "Oh yeah, this thing is like, oh no, stop." I know all of Korg's lines. So
I know you do.
I could go.
I know you do. That's the
like,
I can get you going.
I am a Taika stan. He also is a co-creator of The Mandalorian with Jon Favreau. So give him everything. Give him the keys to your car and Marvel's car.
So since we're on it, I might as well segue into this as too. What excites you most about the upcoming MCU projects? Just Marvel, baby. Marvel, baby. It's Marvel, baby.
If they made, it's easier to talk about the worst parts of it because there's so little, and you could really focus on them. And all the good stuff, too much to talk about. And it would be easier to not be excited if they had made mistakes. They have made no mistakes for the most part. Iron Man 2, hit or miss. I like it a lot. I like it. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a fun movie. I think it tells a great story.
I think it has good aspects for sure. And
Dark
it's definitely.
World, I think it's a good movie.
I like the costume designing for Dark World a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I like the way Malekith and the Dark Elves look. They're like angry stormtroopers.
I disagree, but I like the movie. I like the bromance between Loki and Thor and the cliche, I'm back, baby. You thought I was the bad guy. Now I'm going to start making you sympathize with me and also be a
sympathetic anti-hero.
Is he good? Is he bad?
I never know.
Loki coming up. Loki was for a while my favorite when I was reading like the Ultimate Marvel comics. He was one of my favorite characters. Very, very, very different than the Loki we got in the movie because he's more traditional Loki.
Yeah, for sure.
But I did want to say Loki coming out. Is Taika repping New Zealand? Yeah.
He is.
Not the correct spelling, but he'll be all right. You know.
Yes. Hey, it is what it is.
Diaka. But no, he's fantastic. He's great. He's repping New Zealand so much that he brought in like 4 New Zealand actors, and somehow, because Sam Neill is from Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park. He's doing in the little mock play. He's playing Odin.
Oh yeah. You're right. You're right. You're so
and then
right.
and then Carl Urban as
I don't know where actors are from or
Carl
actresses.
Urban.
In
Carl
all
Urban
honesty.
is the guy with the M16.
You know, I know who Carl Urban was.
Who's the M16? Who's that guy? What's his name?
Not Executioner. What's his name?
I don't know, but he's like, this is Death and this is Troy.
Destroy.
You put them together, they destroy.
It's so great.
I love Taika. Anyway, but I think looking at the bad parts of Marvel, they're not that big. They're not like huge mistakes. They're not like blunders.
Yeah, they're not glaring mistakes.
No, they're still good movies, and everything else that's better than that is so far better than that it's just like, how could you not be excited for anything MCU, anything Marvel Studios puts their name on? I'm just automatically excited for it because I trust them. They have earned my trust. They have built up the expectations.
They have.
The only time I ever get disappointed is when my expectations are like way out of left field.
Yeah, and then
not
it's
really fair.
Different.
Like
It's like,
WandaVision, a little bit. There was some things that I thought they were setting up that they didn't. Same with the original Mandarin. But if they're not setting something up, they're paying homage to something that comic book fans will like. And knowing that there's got to be Eternals fans out there already, I guarantee you they're going to be satisfied with this movie because
for sure. It's just
takes the source material and respects it.
The thing I'm going to be interested about, though, is who's going to actually be Eternals fans and who's just going to come out of the woodworks and watch all like the Looper top 10 facts about Eternals or like top 10 nerd be like top 10 facts about the Angelina Jolie character. Did you know this? And then everyone automatically becomes an authoritation on all the Eternals. And I'm going to be like, get out of here. You don't even know who these are. I'll be the first one to say, I don't know jack about these characters, and I'm excited to learn.
When I was in middle school, before we had Looper on YouTube, we had the official guide to the Marvel Universe. Which
you mean the book?
Which you could get at my high school library for some apparent reason.
DK, right?
And I would get
DK. It was the DK Publishing Company or whatever it was.
I don't remember, but it was.
I think I have that book
with dossiers and descriptions and. Before I could really get into the comics, I would just read these little, essentially Wikipedia cliff notes on all these different concepts.
Wikipedia, except not on the computer.
Because
Wikipedia has the same picture. It has the same pictures.
Yeah. And I remember reading about J. Jonah Jameson's son being the Jackal.
No, the Man-Wolf. He's Man-Wolf.
Mandela effect, maybe, I don't know, but I remember reading like he turned into he is like when he went to the moon as an astronaut.
Yep, he became.
And I was like, I've never read that comic, but because I read the official guide, I was an expert. So don't be hating on people who watch Looper because that's what they have now.
No, I'm just saying. I'm waiting now, for the Eternals aficionados just to come out and be like, "Well, I was an Eternal fan." Are you sure? Or did you go watch something on YouTube right quick?
Lucas, you sound a little
hipstery, pretentious, pop culture.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things. Like I've been talking a lot about my opinion on this, but like I am like more so than I think Lucas to an extent. I am like Marvel has meant like when I was in my worst childhood parts of my life, Marvel was there. That everybody can say that like with Marvel because that's what Marvel does. I didn't have Batman; it just wasn't there. I would have been a Batman guy, and I still am now. But Marvel was so much closer to my heart because not only was it there when I was a kid, but they have successfully adapted everything thus far for the most part.
You're so right on the adaptation part, but I mean, for me, for sure, I'm split down the middle, whether it be DC, Marvel, Dark Horse, Image Comics.
I love DC.
I am a comic book person foremost and first most. Like There's no other way to say it. Like, I can't choose one or the other. I don't think one's better than the other. I think both have their flaws and both have their greats to the greatness to them. So it's really hard for me to choose like one company over the other. Whether, like I said, not even the two. There's other companies that I love that produce really good comic book material, comic book and superhero material. So, I mean, look, we just got Invincible from Image Comics. Image Comics. The only thing people
The
know from
superhero train ain't slowing down, baby.
down, baby. Except if you get stopped by Nolan and Mark.
Ouch.
Boom goes Dynamite. Dynamite Comics. There's another one. Like, look at that. There's so many.
I feel like
of
Lucas
these-
is just making up, like he's just throwing words out there, like Image Comics and Dynamite Comics and Dark Horse. Dark Horse? Who's ever heard of Dark Horse?
But think about it. No one. Oh,
Nah, just kidding. Those are all real. Those are all real.
Umbrella Academy, Hellboy, the Alien franchise, the Alien and Predator franchise, IDW Comics, Boom Comics, Dread, what came from there too. Like the IDW comics are doing really good right now with their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run. Boom Comics is doing great right now with their Power Rangers run. So it's just, I'm a comic books person and I can't choose one or the other because I had so many of these resources coming to me when I was younger. I just couldn't choose. But sorry, we went into like something else. But so MCU projects that really excite me right now, personally. Everything that touches on the multiverse that we're going to be going into. The fact that they're going to show us other versions of characters and they show us what could be happening and what will be happening. Not just one linear story, but like a bunch of different plot points that could happen at any given time. And that you could instantly be gravitating towards. Maybe you see a Spider-Man that is literally a spider that became a man. You know what I'm saying?
We're getting Marvel Zombies in What If. Yeah.
Well, we don't know if it is Marvel Zombies yet. We just saw a zombie Captain America.
That's
all we
enough
know.
for me,
That's
bro.
all we know. We don't know if it's the Marvel Zombie.
Just give me America's ass, but like decrepit and decaying because he's a zombie.
Lord. But the fact that we could have all these different stories being told, and one of the movie's literal name is Multiverse of Madness. And
I don't want to
so
do the
exciting.
thing because like I'm excited, but I want to temper. Because I do think that we're going to get the things that I expect we're going to get, but I don't think they're going to be happening as quickly as I want them to. So, for example, there's rumors in the next Spider-Man movie that we're going to see Tobey Maguire
And Andrew Garfield.
and Alfred Molina
And
all these different actors.
No, Alfred Molina is confirmed on the cast list, and same with Jamie Foxx. That's a confirmation.
It's confirmation that they're in the movie, and it's rumored because I don't want to confirm something that's not officially. It's rumored that they will reprise their roles in a multiverse fashion. But that being said, that doesn't mean it's going to be a central focus. It could just be a shot of Peter being in a like time vortex and looking around and seeing all these things happen.
That's still enough for me. That's enough. I don't have to have a main focus of a movie that's about that. Right. But think about the name of that movie. Since it's an upcoming project, it's called No Way Home. It's called No Way Home. If you're going through the multiverse,
alert, Tom Holland dies.
If you're going through like a multiverse tunnel, basically, or like a multiverse portal, jumping from world to world to world to world, how are you going to get home? Maybe there's no way home.
Maybe home is where the heart is, and he has no heart.
Like he doesn't have to stay within these worlds, right? Like there was a game called was it Shattered Dimensions, and you played as 4 different Spider-Men. Yeah. And you jump back and forth between the games. You never really stayed focused on one game.
There was Into the Spider-Verse. There was Shattered Dimensions.
And Edge of Time, where it was
just
Miguel O'Hara. Yeah. But like say Shattered Dimensions, right? You just kept jumping back and forth between all 4 of these little realms. You had a story, but it was a very shortened story, but on a bigger scale. So if they did this No Way Home movie, I don't have to have like a full-on like nonstop Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland like hug fest. I could have like Tom Holland jumping from say Andrew Garfield's period of being Spider-Man and maybe dealing with him and helping him fight like Jamie Foxx's Electro,
Right. You're
and then
saying
jumping again, and
you're not
then
like up here. You're a little more tempered, so that's fine. That's good.
yeah,
That would be cool for me too. But like, that's all I'm saying. Like with the multiverse, the thought in my head was, are we gonna get Fox X-Men through the multiverse, or are we gonna get an entirely new cast? Because some of the cast for the X-Men characters could not possibly be surpassed. Some of them, there will probably be good, like, you know, new versions of them, but they're not going to be as good. Like, obviously Patrick Stewart's too old,
and Hugh
but
Jackman as Wolverine's really hard to pass up right now.
if I think he would do it if, like, he doesn't want to, but I think he would if he was sweet, if the deal was sweet enough for him. But obviously, by the time, like, unless they're really pulling the wool over us and they're just hiding the fact that X-Men is coming out sooner, they're not going to have time. They're going to need
another thing confirmed for No Way Home is the guy who plays Matt Murdock in the Netflix Daredevil show. What's his name?
I don't know.
He's confirmed for the movie as well. He's been confirmed.
Charlie Cox.
Yes, he is confirmed.
Yeah. I always get him confirmed. Let me make sure.
And for the longest period of time, they told us that the Netflix shows had nothing to do with the MCU.
Yeah, that's his name. They didn't really say that. They just said they weren't going to focus on them. They didn't say they weren't canon. They just said that that was not their focus. So I don't think they've ever officially came out and said those shows are not canon. There's no reason they couldn't be canon. They're very focused. They're very, they stand alone. I would love to see. I know a lot of people hated Iron Fist, but Shang-Chi and Iron Fist did a lot of
hand in hand.
And then they would team up with Luke Cage. We were robbed of that. The guy who played Luke, Mike Coulter, perfect Luke Cage, perfect Jessica Jones, perfect. Like, those shows were a little drawn out. They had a lot of filler.
Yeah,
but the actors who played them, the way that those characters were built.
I mean, John Bennett's Punisher.
10 out of 10.
Casting.
You can't get better than they've already done those characters. I mean, thank God, at least we still have Moon Knight coming out, and they might, but like, the world. That's the other thing with Marvel. There are things that I want that I probably will never get. Like, we'll never ever get Spider-Man and Wolverine fighting with Captain America together. We'll never get that. In a live action setting.
Avengers versus X-Men, baby. Let's hope and pray.
Yeah, but I don't think Hugh Jackman is going to be Wolverine, and Chris Evans is not going to be Captain America again. Like, everybody's like, oh, he might be coming back. Yeah, he'll come back to do minor things, but I don't think he's. I think he's making plenty of money.
Yeah. So
he's still getting roles.
Let's talk about this. Thoughts on Marvel trying to come up with make the lesser known characters in their pantheon of characters work in modern pop culture.
I think that's easier for them to do. I think it's easier because you're not. If the fan base is smaller, you don't have a rowdy, large group of people who are going to be upset if you do anything wrong with their characters. You usually have a more, their fan base is usually just like, oh, I'm happy we're seeing anything with this lesser known series that I never thought would come to the movies because it was lesser known. Right. So, but that being said, Marvel is like, I think that's a good thing. To an extent, I like that. As much as I want X-Men right now, I like that I still have X-Men to look forward to.
Yeah.
I still have Fantastic Four to look forward to. Those are more known characters. I still have, the characters that I know, they're still coming. And in the meantime, I get to learn, divert and learn new stories that I've never been told before. And I think it's really important that they do that to explain how vast the Marvel universe really is.
It does.
And
It definitely builds on what they are, because if you just keep going with Captain America stories or Tony Stark stories or Hulk's, think about Hulk. We haven't got anything about Hulk himself in a very, very long time. We've had him featured and stuff. So he would be a great person to use in movies right now because he's available, basically. But
they're not allowed to use the Marvel Studios cannot make a Hulk movie because Universal owns the rights to Hulk as a movie. They can feature
Still.
Hulk in movies. If not still, then I guess Marvel's just given up on that. But he will be in She-Hulk, another character I know nothing about. I know nothing about Miss Marvel other than, unless the new video game that just came out is a faithful adaptation. I know she has stretchy powers.
Yep.
Which will be a really
They
really
showed a
interesting thing.
tease. They showed a tease
because-
of her costume. It looks it's comic book accurate.
Right.
So
I'm excited. I think she's an Arabic
Mhm.
superhero. I'm excited for the diversity. I love, Shang-Chi. We got, the Chinese. We got Arabic. We got Kumail. I love that diversity. I love, especially when it's very tied into their cultures. I know, from the little I know about Miss Marvel, from watching the opening.
Ooh, technical difficulties with
Are we
Justin.
still here?
Oh, hey, there you
We
are.
still here?
Yeah, you're there. Hi.
Okay.
You're a little laggy.
I was like, is my internet cut out?
I think your internet might cut out.
Okay.
Ah.
Um, I was going to say, I know that her story is very tied into her culture. I know that Shang-Chi's story is tied into their culture. I love that. I love learning about those cultures. I love seeing, like Wakanda and the different sites, because I don't know anything about that, and experiencing it through the lens of a superhero is really fun.
It is.
And, especially for those audiences that don't have that representation that now get it. It's better than late than never, but it should have been right from the get go.
I mean, think about the the culture shock and like the abundance of like positive energy Black Panther generated.
and Black and Falcon and Winter Soldier 2,
Exactly.
addressing that in the very show.
Exactly.
Like just on the nose. Like I'm sitting there watching that, thinking like, are they gonna where are we going with this? And
are we gonna kind of segue into it, or are we gonna just
are we gonna be subtle
just
about
dropped
it, or are we gonna no? They're just like, no, we're going to put this front and center. And as much hypocritical as it is with Disney being a corporation at the end of this, we're going to tell you how things are and how crappy things are, especially for minorities.
Exactly.
And we're not going to hold back.
And they didn't stray away from comic book stuff either because of Isaiah, because Isaiah Bradley was discriminated against in the comic books.
And you go on like, this is really diving deep into.
Also, thoughts on Marvel's lesser known character. Isaiah Bradley was a lesser known character, and they made it work.
What was the comic book called? Was it Captain America something Son?
For him? For Isaiah?
Yeah.
I think
Forgotten Son?
Forgotten Son. I think so.
I think it's called, or
something along. I mean, there's so many names. There's so many names. I know
Forsaken?
all I know. Son title for Captain America is Fallen Son. That's the death of Captain America.
That might have been okay.
Yeah.
I know that there was, this is I've gotten away. I used to know, but I used to know about that story. I never read it, but I knew of. Captain America's. I always have liked Captain America more in the comics than I did in the movies, but I like what they did with the movies too. Anyway, what I was saying about Falcon and Winter Soldier is we get these bite-sized pieces. Like I like that, when it comes to lesser known characters, Disney just kind of has, like I said, Marvel's got like the blank check from Disney. Like, do what you want. Disney's hands off for the most part. They're more concerned with scheduling. They don't want to interfere with Marvel Studios because they know Marvel Studios knows how to get
the money.
So, and I'm gonna keep giving it to them. I'm gonna keep selling my kidneys on the black market.
I give everything to that.
You
I
know.
give my money to anything Disney owns in general, whether it be Marvel, Star Wars, now Fox, now I mean Disney itself, Pixar,
Right.
anything they own, I give my money to. So,
And I think
Disney
of all the
doesn't make
characters,
bad deals. That's the thing. They only buy what is a
yes,
rival
they do.
to
Yes, they
them.
do.
They only buy
They
what is a rival to them or something that they know they can make them money.
this is an example of a Disney bad deal. Hi, Kathleen Kennedy. Would you like some money?
Ah!
Um,
Hi, Dave Filoni. Do you
no.
want to become executive producer
So
or creative executive producer?
Mr. Filoni, we messed up.
We messed up. We need you to fix everything, please, Mr. Filoni. Mr. Filoni, please.
We
All the
tried with
Mandalorian
JJ.
season 2 could be all about Clone Wars. It's okay. Just please help us fix this.
We tried with JJ Abrams, but he didn't quite cut it. You think you could, sling us some?
You want to give us a trilogy too while you're at it? Well, you give us a trilogy. It's okay. You can keep referencing them Caminos and all those clones. You can bring back that actor. It's fine. Just have a whole clone live action movie. It's okay. Just please, Dave Filoni.
And now that the Star Wars portion of our show is finished, I think if Lucas, I gotta ask, like, which character that you don't know much about, and not Eternals doesn't count because it's a team of characters unless you know a specific character in Eternals. Which character that you don't know too much about are you most excited to learning more about in one of these new, lesser known character shows or movies with Marvel? Because mine would be Moon Knight, because I know a little bit about Moon Knight. I saw his guest appearances in Ultimate Spider-Man. I was fascinated with him, and I know he's Egyptian.
It's hard because I don't know any of these Eternals, the guys from Eternals names.
Well, I mean, just point one out and be like, So the character you don't know much about that you're most excited to learn more about is in the Eternals. It's not like Miss Marvel.
No. So I'm just saying, like, I'm just going through like people I don't know about. Yeah. Like, I don't know any of their names and I don't know anything about them. So it's like I'm not interested yet to learn about them. Maybe give me another trailer, like another trailer-ish, maybe a teaser trailer or something to give me something to go on more for this movie that I'll be more interested in. I mean, don't take away the fact that I'm not interested in this movie. I am interested in this movie, but
it's Marvel.
It's Marvel, baby. I know about Taskmaster. That might be it. But I hope he's not a throwaway villain. But he's going to be a throwaway villain.
Unless, like, I don't know what they might use him in Hawkeye.
Like Earth level, like street level threats.
It's not going to be in a movie though. Like other than Black Widow, if he's coming back, or the theory goes,
maybe they can have him come back like Batroc the Leaper and Claw, like have like a reoccurring, like
the only shows I know of that it would work with Taskmaster coming. I don't think he'd work in a She-Hulk thing. I don't think he'd work in a Miss Marvel. But
Secret Invasion.
No, wouldn't that be Skrulls though? Like, I don't.
He could be a Skrull or fighting a Skrull. Thunderbolts. You know what I really want them to do is I want them to do a Thunderbolts TV show or a movie. Give us a Thunderbolts movie. Don't let, like, as much as I love the fact that DC's trying again with the Suicide Squad and making it more like comic book appropriate, the way it's feeling, it's very Suicide Squad-y. Like, give me a villains-based Marvel movie. Give me Baron Zemo. Give me Taskmaster. Give me, like, all these other people.
How we can call him Baron Zemo now because they retcon.
I really do.
So he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I got this
I'm rich.
Coat. This coat
rich.
Means I'm a Baron, bro.
Think about it. Now that we know who what was her name? Sharon Carter's character, the Power Broker. We could have her as one of the Thunderbolts too. Like, all these characters that they've came up with that are villains within the Marvel universe, kind of like circling around, like doing their thing, could get caught and then have to do like basic missions for the government.
This is why I'm
perfectly okay with it.
This is why Marvel is so good, because when we talk about DC like this, or the DCEU, we talk about it like this in a way that's frustrating because they won't do it. But Marvel when we talk about it, there's like a 50-50 chance that at least some of what we're talking about will make it to the screen. And that is so exciting. We will definitely get
Perfect way to bring John Barathal's Punisher into the MCU without giving him a movie yet would be having him on the Thunderbolts team.
and doing this.
Same with, yeah.
That's what John
I'm
Bernthal always
just. Did you also? Oh, sorry that just I sidetracked. Did you hear the rumor that Ghost Rider might be Multiverse of Madness?
As much as I've heard the rumor that Mephisto is going to be in WandaVision or Multiverse of Madness, so
Okay,
I think Ghost Rider makes an because Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage was a relatively successful movie. I think Marvel would probably be like, okay, we should have a Ghost Rider thing.
Well,
I don't
there
know
was
if they
Ghost
would. I
Rider
don't know
in
if they would
Agents of
introduce.
Shield. They tried him again in Agents of Shield with
Yeah, but that was
Reyes.
That was Agents of Shield, which had already kind of lost its main audience because it just
Yeah.
doesn't live up to. I've tried probably like 6 times to continue from where I left off because that first season is really good, but like second season is.
I watched the Ghost Rider scenes from Agents of Shield, and I really liked them.
This is the guy. This is the guy. I remember who was talking about judging people for going on Looper, and he's like, "Oh, I watched those particular scenes, so now I'm a fan."
Not a fan of the show.
I
like Ghost Rider as a character.
I'm playing.
That is actually a character that is a lesser known character that deserves like the big MCU overhaul, I think.
So you're saying what we got in the Nicolas Cage that's what he does when he transforms. If you go watch the movie, it's pretty bad. It's good. It's hard. It's a different world we lived in back then. We didn't have much. I liked it.
When I watched it, I loved it as a little kid.
Yeah,
I watched
but
it when I was younger.
Ben Affleck's Daredevil, and then
Hey, listen, the King, Michael Clark Duncan. His Kingpin was amazing to me.
He would have been a great dark side, wouldn't he? He would have been a great dark side.
Yeah, he would have been.
There's a guy who sounds like him who I think he just does mostly voice and mocap work. He was in Thor 1, I think, or Thor 2, but he sounds. I was like, is that Michael Clark Duncan?
Do you think? Okay, so you know how I don't know how much you know about Fantastic Four, but Galactus is a thing with Fantastic Four 90% of the time. Like he's something that they tend to deal with. So Eternals are evolved Celestials. Galactus is a Celestial. Galactus and Fantastic Four.
Yeah, what about Silver Surfer, man?
That's what I'm about to say.
What if he shows up in Eternals?
Would you? What if he does? What if he does?
What if they go to his home planet and they this is the thing. We're talking about Marvel here, so it is possible. Anything's possible. Like we don't have.
Would you want? That's another character. Lesser known characters work in modern pop culture. I would love to see a Silver Surfer.
I know
solo
all
movie.
about him because I read his page in the Marvel Encyclopedia in middle school like 5 times. So yeah, I'm like, wait, this dude does what to planets? He goes and he's like surfs around until Big Daddy's ready to eat. Okay. Very straightforward, but like doesn't make sense.
About the Silver Surfer, I'd pay big bucks to see it. There's another thing. Beta Ray Bill is a character that is a equivalent to Thor, and he is on the tower at the Grandmaster.
I'm willing to put money that he is in Love and Thunder. I bet you my kidney. The 5th kidney I haven't sold.
This is big talk from you. This isn't something you usually do.
Taika wanted it. Taika's going to bring him in. Taika, of course.
He was a character. He wanted it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
of course, Taika's going to bring Beta Ray. I don't know how big of a role he'll play, but it's so terrible that I don't know Carl Urban's character name because I really like that character, and it's not. It shows my age, I guess, because I used to be able to I knew everybody, and now I'm like, I don't know.
No.
But his
Oh, man. Yeah,
but
it's,
we're getting who's Christian Bale playing in Love and Thunder? The bad guy.
another god, Zeus. Isn't he playing
No,
Zeus?
no, Russell Crowe.
No, Russell Crowe's
Russell
playing
Crowe.
Zeus.
Again, they
who's
just announced that crap. Russell Crowe is gonna be Zeus.
we have
Marvel's just
Zeus in Marvel now.
like if Marvel was a person and was at a bar with a girl, and you saw him walk in, and I was a dude, I'd just walk out of the bar because I have no chance.
You don't. Because
Marvel's
you don't
gonna go up there and be like, "So
I just
we
put
got
Zeus in. I just
we
put
got
Zeus in
Russell
the movie
Crowe.
as Zeus.
You know Russell Crowe from the
From the Gladiator.
Gladiator. Remember?
A Roman / Greek movie.
Remember he was
Guess what he's playing
Tyrell.
now?
He was
A god.
Superman's
A
dad.
god.
Remember Superman's dad?
He's a legit god now.
We got him. He's signed for 2 movies, maybe more.
It's crazy.
You wanna go get a drink? I mean, you're like, what are you gonna do? You got Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, Natalie Portman. All the like. It doesn't get it. Marvel just does what it wants, and
At this point, it does.
Marvel.
Yes. It had
Marvel
to get to a point after. I think after the first Avengers movie, I think Marvel was able to do what they wanted.
Yeah, that was a very stressful
Iron Man
time.
and
Very
Iron
stressful
Man.
time.
What was it? Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. Like all those movies were pretty like by the books almost. They did some like Easter egg setups, but it was a pretty by the books movie. Like
Thor was the furthest out there.
Yeah.
When we got it, like when we first saw that first Thor movie, I was like, that was So we got Iron Man, Iron Man 2, or Iron Man, Hulk with Edward Norton.
I missed that
Remember
movie.
him?
I missed that movie.
You can't watch it on Disney Plus, sadly.
Yep.
Then you had Iron Man 2 and Thor,
And Captain
then
America.
Captain America, and we
Yep.
had seen Black Widow and Hawkeye in between Thor and
Mm-hmm.
But when you saw Thor and they went to Asgard, that was the moment for me in Marvel where I was like, oh, they're, regardless of how good the movie is, looking at it, like obviously you look at it with rose-colored glasses because it's like the beginning of Thor, but a lot of people don't like that first Thor movie. But just looking back at it, being the first time we got to see anything beyond the military-industrial complex fighting each other on Earth, which was Iron Man. And
We
Captain
saw a
America.
bigger picture.
We were like, oh, we're getting, they're actually really, being unique and creative. They're actually taking creative license, they're actually going the extra mile.
And then Avengers happened.
Yeah. And so when you saw that, it set your expectations up for Avengers in a way where you were like, okay, I could take a sigh of relief. They didn't screw it all up. It's not perfect. They didn't screw anything up.
And they
Let's
didn't
see how
really.
that goes. First Avengers, one of the
with-
greatest movies of all time.
Then that's what I was about to say, because in Thor, because coming off of what you said, like I didn't really feel like the Asgardians were aliens at that point. I thought you still like some deities, maybe like godly beings that existed within like the 9 realms. But then come to find out they're cosmic beings. They're not deities. They're just aliens that live really, really, really long time.
So with those portals, like in Dark World, where they're all lining up, do you think that was the same like technology or phenomenon that happens in Thor Ragnarok with the devil's anus? You know what I'm talking about? The little wormhole thing,
Well, that wasn't Thor Ragnarok. That was Thor Dark World.
Yeah, it was. No,
Dark World.
The Dark World was the portals. The devil's anus was Ragnarok. Because that's how they got to know at one planet. With Jeff Goldblum.
Ego?
Yes.
No, Ego. Ego's Guardians. A Scar.
Ego.
Scar. Why am I being retarded tonight? I'm so sorry. Yes. Scar.
Sakaar. Yeah.
Sakaar.
What was Jeff Goldblum? The Grandmaster?
The Grandmaster.
The
Did you know
brother?
the Grandmaster? Yeah. Do you know they are the original species that happened after the Big Bang? They are the first species to
I already knew that
into
about
existence.
I didn't know that about Benicio del Toro, but as soon as I saw Jeff Goldblum's chest exposed in Jurassic Park when he was injured. I'm like, yeah,
That's what happens
that
after the Big
guy,
Bang.
Big Bang, right there. Yes, yeah.
Awesome. So,
And then that movie had all the running and screaming.
I mean, so final thoughts. Will you go see this, man? Because I know
Oh
I
God,
will.
I feel like we talked this about. This was a Marvel podcast. Is what this was, which is always going to happen as soon as you put any kind of Marvel anything. We're
Well,
going
the
to
thing
rabbit
is,
hole like crazy.
we can rabbit hole this because we don't know anything about it. That's the thing is now I want to watch this movie. I want to find out about these characters, and then maybe I'm going to do my research on it after I see this movie. I don't want to do my research before and get this really hyped up like sense of like, oh my God, these characters are so amazing. And then what if this movie doesn't provide for that? So I'd rather watch this movie, see what the MCU is building for it, because the MCU isn't comic books. It's its own universe. It's not the 616 universe. It's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a different Earth, essentially. So they're building this whole story around these characters. So I don't want to be like, I know this from the comic books for this. I'd rather see what they have in this universe and what they're doing within this universe.
If you're not gonna go see this movie, then you're gonna miss out. I mean, Marvel, even if this isn't one of their best movies, you can sit back and trust that they're going to deliver. We've earned that trust. They have, some people were disappointed with WandaVision because it took a lot of creative risks, tried to be something really different, and that's understandable. This is not taking kind of risks that WandaVision is. This would have been a risk had we not gotten Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Or Captain Marvel. I mean, those were very.
I think Guardians was the risk. Ant-Man wasn't really the risk because Ant-Man was a founding member of the Avengers.
Yeah, but having a whole movie about
not that
a
Ant-Man
character that turns into an ant.
Well, true. I understand the comic. I understand the premises.
Before seeing it on
But-
paper, sounds like if Marvel hadn't already made Iron Man and they went first, like, hey, we want to do Ant-Man, they'd be like, all right, here's $30 million. Make a low budget movie that's a comedy. It's like it's gonna look like crap. But no, they were, I'm just saying Marvel's risks generally pay off, which has been proven time and time again. I do not think that they're ever gonna fall beyond good content.
I don't think they're ever gonna fall below a B movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a B rank.
Not a B movie, but a
F.
B rank movie. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. Like I said, the worst Marvel movies to me are still, like Lucas said, 80 to 100. They're still good. I would still watch Dark World any day of the week. I know people hate it. I would still watch Iron Man 2 or 3 any day of the week. I would still watch the first Captain America or Captain Marvel any day of the week. Just as Marvel, they make good content.
Do them?
And I might not watch WandaVision again because it's just so.
I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot, but it's just gonna bring up the stress of like, who is this guy? Is Mephisto? Is he not? I don't know.
My wife's watching now.
Great
right at the end. Towards the end, she's already in. Hey, baby.
I might as well wrap this up.
Yeah.
I will say I'm still more excited for Shang-Chi and Black Widow, but those are coming out first. By the time I've seen those, this will like ka-chow back up to the hypest of hype. Obviously, if they release a Spider-Man trailer before this, then everything else is going to be a moot point because Spider-Man is just.
That wouldn't be a good marketing plan.
No, they'll release a trailer before Eternals, but probably close to it. Just
for
to be
Spider-Man?
Like, hey, yeah, they'll be like, because you probably if traditionally you go see a movie from a studio, they're going to advertise their next movie.
Do you think? So, talking about going to see the movie, in credit scene or mid credit scene or post credit scene, Do you want to see something that segues into the new phase, or do you want to see something that's like funny, like the shawarma?
No, I think we need we need neither of those. We need maybe the phase one. What we need, Lucas, is something to connect. If this movie's not going to be a blatant connection to the other movies, other
Yeah.
than like the little bits of dialogue, like where they're just referencing Captain America or the Avengers, we need a tie-in at the end that
To
will
something.
make you to any of the
It's
movies
gonna
that
be
we've
Captain
already seen.
Marvel. It's going to be Captain Marvel.
Right.
It has
Like
to be.
we need you know, Carol to show up or
Them referencing something going
something like that.
on. Like maybe they are like these deities from outer space, or like not deities, but like these beings from outer space, and they're being deities on Earth, and all of a sudden they hear about her doing the Kree War or fighting off in the other part of the
Right.
world, other
We
part,
need a
and they're
yeah,
like,
we need
"We're there, we're helping," or
this
like,
yeah, exactly. This movie needs to be very clear about when its timeline is. I know that all these space opera movies play fast and loose with time because when you get into
time is
space,
relevant.
there's no such thing. You know, like
Yeah,
if you literally like for all you science nerds out there, I know this, but if you were as far away as the Guardians of the Galaxy were by the time they got to Earth, even if it was instantaneous, everybody like this whole thing. There's no way people would be. Anyway, time doesn't work like that. But in the sake of the Marvel timeline, playing fast and loose with physics, we need a clear definition of when this happens, and we need to connect it to the world at large, and specifically to the rest of the Marvel properties, because
100%,
we
100%. Because
can't.
that's what I was thinking
You
too.
don't introduce a character without, you know, establishing that yes, they are part of the. This has a consequences in the rest of the
Scrolls,
MCU. Right.
scrolls could be teased at the end again because they've been laying the
Everybody wants the
groundwork.
scrolls. I don't. Yeah.
They've been laying the groundwork for scrolls and a lot of different things because they showed a scroll at the end of WandaVision. They showed scrolls at the end of what was
Spider-Man,
it? Spider-Man,
Far From Home,
Far From Home. Exactly. So maybe
and
they'll lay
that's
the
it.
groundwork for Secret Invasion.
And Captain
Essentially,
Marvel.
yeah.
Um, what it would be cool too, because we know Photon or
Mm-hmm.
what's her name, Monica Rambeau. We know she is going up that way. That's all.
Yep.
They didn't say space. They just did that. So
Because
I
sword,
mean,
because of
she could have
sword.
been
Yeah.
she could have been going up into like a treehouse or something. They just pointed
Yeah.
out. So I don't know because that's no, they're going to space. But what we could see, like we could get that, like Monica shows up with an eye patch and she's like, "I'm here to talk to you about the sword initiative or some shit." You know, we need something not like that, but like that would
Yeah.
be awesome. Like as dumb as that would be, I would literally like probably
Cry.
vomit like out of just pure excitement. But yeah, like I said, we don't need like jokes. Um, I think the jokes work best when they're referencing something or someone that is very established. Like I think one of the best end credit jokes was Captain America at the end of Homecoming going, "Sometimes you feel like you just you waste your time waiting around for things that never happen."
Another lesser known
Uh,
character that deserves a show. Sorry, because we're talking about end credit scenes. Is Howard the
he's,
freaking Duck?
um,
Man, think about it. That was I lost it when I saw
that's
that.
great. That's great. Give
That's
me, I
that.
mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like
give us a
that
mini
was
series.
one of my favorite. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
deal with. He was. I mean, he was in game for like a second, but
I mean, so was like Batman probably. I bet you anything if like you pause somewhere, you're probably gonna have like Luke Skywalker and Batman, just or Darth Vader. You know, you're probably gonna have you know somebody probably hasn't found that. They may have cut it out.
yeah.
But like you got to imagine like half the cast just showed up dressed in their cosplay just to be in that crowd. But yeah, like Howard the Duck, we've seen him. He was at the end credit, but that was Guardians and Thor are very they're trying to establish the 80s space action comedy, which you would get from like the Last Starfighter or
And they're doing
I
it well
don't
though.
know, or
They're doing it
the
good.
Helmet. But I don't think I think Eternals is a much more
I think it looks like a modern sci-fi movie.
yeah, it looks more like Ridley Scott esque
Yeah,
kind of
it does.
it looks a little more serious.
It's
in its
darker hues, a lot of darker hues. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, out of all this though, we were definitely go see this movie. So, yeah,
Howard the Duck. Get it to me.
let's do it.
He had a Tommy
Pitch
gun
it.
too.
He did. He did. He did. No, he
Not
did.
not very effective against whatever those dog monster things that Thanos had.
7-armed Goro knockoffs.
Trawlers, something.
Something. I don't know. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us on our stream tonight.
This has been great and
this was
really
awesome. This was really needed.
This was just a little long-winded, but
It is. But this is what happens when you have such a good topic to talk about. Mava baby. It's Mava baby. But anyways, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. Remember
Excelsior.
Remember, smash the like button, flip the sub button, and at the end, assemble to the notification button and give us that thumbs up. All right, guys. Until next time. Bye.